I'm Anil Kumar. Welcome to my website, globalmathinstitute.com. Here is a very special series for our junior students, mainly grade 3 students, who will be learning modeling with two-digit numbers. In this video, we'll talk about base 10 blocks. We'll write each number using base 10 block. We're going to draw some pictures to model in a different way the same number. We'll also look into place value chart. We'll write base 10 names. We'll write value of digits, the place value, and then we'll work with examples having blocks, place value, and a sample test, and then we'll review the concepts learned. In our earlier video, we talked about the 100 chart paper, right? So that is your 100 chart, which you know about rows, columns, and all the patterns, whether you go diagonal, left or right. Now we'll look into how to work with the base 10 blocks. Base 10 blocks. Basically, one little cube will be considered as number 1, and when we have 10 of these joined together, then we'll treat this as a number 10. Okay? So one little cube is a number 1 for us, and when we put them 10 together, then it is 10. It makes sense, right? So it is number 1 and 10. So the first exercise here is to read the numbers shown with the base 10 blocks. We call them base 10 because it is all about ones and tens. Now, how do we read this? Well, how many small cubes do we have? Each cube is just number 1. So let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that means this is 5, right? So we have 5 here. So that becomes the number 5 for us. Now in this case, you can count by tens. Since we have 10, 20, and 30, so we can write this as 30, right? So that is how you can count our base 10 blocks. Now here we have two groups of tens. That means we have 10 and 10, 20, and then 21, 22, 23. So that becomes the number 23. Is that clear to you? How did we count? Let's go back again and count them now. Okay, so we said 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We got the number 5. In this case, we have blocks of tens. So we'll do skip counting by tens. Okay, so it is 10, 20, 30. So we got a number 30 here. How about this? This is mixed ones and tens blocks. So let's count by tens first, right? Bigger number first. So it is 10, 20, and then 21, 22, 23. We got a number 23. So I hope now it is absolutely clear and you find it easy to count and write, correct? So it is easy to read the numbers with ones and tens blocks, correct? So that is the whole idea. Count by ones or tens as we did. So first count by tens and then by ones. That is what you should remember. So remember this, that it is easy to count, but first count by tens and then by ones. It is very easy as we did here, right? So first count by tens and then by ones to understand. I hope you got it. So let's move on and see again how can we count, right? So help me this time. Base 10 blocks once again. Each cube is 1, but a block of 10 cubes is 10. So the number here is 1, but the number here is 10 since it is a block of 10 cubes. Okay. Now, can you read this number for me now? Okay, try to read this number. What does it represent? Count the number of cubes. Okay, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So that is the number 12 for us. Okay, 12. How about this? First count by tens. So we get 10, 11, 12, right? So we have one block of 10 and then we have 11 and one 12. Well, that is also 12. Well, both are 12. Correct. One is 12 ones. This is 12 ones, and the other one is 110 and 2 ones. It also makes 12, 110 and 2 ones. So that is the same number. Do you see that? However, we find that the number of blocks are different, right? A number can be modeled in different ways, that means. So we have a number 12, and this can be modeled in two different ways. We could have 12 ones as shown here, or we could have a combination of 10 plus 2, which is also 12. So that is what we're trying to say. A number can be modeled in different ways. Okay. More blocks are used with only ones. Correct. If I use only ones, I use 12 blocks. Correct. Least blocks are used in 110 and 2 ones. Well, that is very minimal, right? We just use 3 blocks here, right? So we use 12 blocks with ones, right? More blocks are used with only ones. How many blocks did we use? We used 12 ones, right? And in the second case, we use 3 blocks. Correct? How did we use 3 blocks? 1 tens and 2 ones. So that make 3 blocks, correct? So very less number of blocks when you use more tens. Correct. Makes sense. Let's move on and try to practice this exercise. Now again, we're working with the base 10 blocks. We know 1 and this is a set of 10. Okay, so 1 and 10 numbers. The question for you to practice is read the numbers and count the number of blocks. Okay, take your time. Read these numbers. So let's start with the first one. Okay, let's read it. These are all ones. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So we got 14 as the number. So this number is 14. And since they are all ones, number of blocks is also 14. Right. Now here, we can count by tens first. So we get what? 10, 20, 21, 22, 23. So the number here is 23, but the blocks are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we have 5 blocks, correct? Let's count again. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 5. 5 blocks, correct. Now in this case, what is the number? 10, 20, 30, 1, 2, 32. So the number is 32 and the number of blocks 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Number of blocks is 5. Now do you notice both are 5 blocks each? However, they have different numbers, right? This is much bigger, 32 and 23. 32 is much bigger. Why? Since we use 3 blocks of tens. That is why. Good. Let's move on and see something more about these 10 blocks. Now we'll see how to write numbers in different ways. Okay. The question is, model 32 in 3 different ways with base 10 blocks. So one number 32 we have to write in 3 different ways. How can we do it? Well, we could have 32 ones, right? So these are my 32 ones. So I got 32 of these ones right here, correct? So 32 ones is one way of writing 32, right? What is the other way? Well, I will write 3 tens and 2 ones. Okay, so 3 tens and 2 ones, 32. Any other way? Well, what we could do here is we could have 2 tens and 1 10 can be split into 10. So this 10 has been split into 10 ones. So we could have 2 tens and 12 ones. That is tricky. So what we did was, look here, we have a 10 block here. Let's say this is a 10 block, right? So we just split this and broke it down to 10 individuals, right? Do you understand what I'm trying to do here? I just break it down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 1, 10. So I broke this longer tens block into 10 small blocks. Ones blocks. Do you see? 10 ones is 110. That is the concept, right? So now I have two tens since I broke one, but 12 ones. Correct? All the numbers are still 32. Perfect. That is what we wanted. Okay, let's count the number of blocks. In the first case, since we have only ones, the blocks are 32. In the second case, we have two tens and 12 ones. So the blocks are 2 plus 12, which is 14. In the third case, we have three tens and two ones. So the blocks are 5. 3 plus 2. Does make sense to you, right? So here it is just 32. Here it is 2 plus 12, which is 14. And then we have 3 plus 2, which is 5. That is how easily we can get the number of blocks. Correct? Again, in which case do we have minimum number of blocks? Minimum blocks are when we use most 10. That makes sense. Okay, so here is an exercise for you. You can now pause the video, answer this question. You need to write the numbers in different ways. So you have modeling 23 this time, right? Last time we did 32. Now you have to model 23. Three different ways using base 10 blocks. Okay, so I've done the modeling for you. You need to count the number of ones and number of tens in each case, right? So pause the video, count, and then write your answers. Here is how I will do it. So let's count. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. So that becomes a block of 20. 5 times 4, and this is 3. So clearly we have 23 ones. Now in this case, let's count the tens. There's only one 10 here. So number of tens is 1. And number of ones are, let's count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and 1, 13. That makes sense. 13 plus 1, 1 is tens, right? So it is basically 10 plus 13, right? So we get 10 plus 13, which also gives you 23, correct? So that is correct. Now, third one, 20, 1, 2, 3, 23. So two tens and three ones makes it 23. Now, let's count the number of blocks. In the first case, there are 23 ones, so there are 23 blocks. Here, we have 14 blocks since we have 1 of tens and 13 ones. So it is 1 plus 13 number of blocks. In this case, we have 2 plus 3, which is 5 blocks, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Perfect. Minimum number of blocks are used in this particular case, which has two tens and three ones. So 5 blocks, right? Minimum number of blocks are 5 in this case. Correct. So you see that we made 23 in so many different ways, right? So 23 is equal to 23 ones. 23 is also equal to 110 plus 13 ones, or it is also equals to 2 tens plus 3 ones. Make sense? 13 ones is 10 and 3. So it becomes 2 tens and 3 ones. Perfect? Right. Now I think you have understood the concept of base 10 blocks. Let's check the place value now. Okay, let's consider a number 45, right? So this number is, what did I say? 45. Okay, 4 and 5, 45. So, well, we say 5 are the ones and 40 are tens. Do you see that? So that is how we get our place value chart. So when we read a number, digit on the right is ones place and on the left of that is tens. So we can write a place value chart. So this table is called a place value chart where you put tens and ones. So that is your place value chart. So this is what is called place value chart. Is that clear? Okay, so in the place value chart, we have two columns. One is for ones, the other one is tens. 45. Write 45 as you do. Now 5 comes in ones place and 4 comes in tens place. That really means what? The value of this 4 is 4 tens or 40. That is what it means. So this 4 really means 40. 4 tens. And this 5 means 5 ones or just the number 5. Perfect. 5 may be bigger, but the place value wise, it is much, much smaller. So what you see here is that the number is 45. In base 10, we write 4 tens and 5 ones. In words, we write 45. So these are different ways of writing the numbers, right? So you write a number like 45 or 4 tens, 5 ones, or also 45 in words, right? Now remember this. The value of each digit in a number depends on the position or place in the number. So that position is important, right? So if I write a number which is, let us say 23, then 3 is ones and 2 is tens. So the position is important. 2 means 20 and 3 means just number 3. So 2 has more value than 3 since 2 is 2 tens, 20. So the number to the left have higher value. So this number is on the left side, it has higher value, 10 times. In two-digit number, the place value is ones and tens. Right? That's what is shown in the place value chart. So in the place value chart, we make a table where we have two columns for two-digit numbers. On the right hand side, we have ones, and on the left hand side, we have tens as shown here, right? Now, let's work with the number 71. Write it on a place value chart. Well, 70 means 7 tens and 1 1. 7 tens and 1 1. 71. 7 will be written under tens and 1 under ones. So the value of this digit is 7 tens or 70. The value of 1 is 1 1 or just number 1. Correct? So the number which is 71 for us in base 10 can be written as 7 tens and 1 1. When we write 7 tens and 1 1, we call this as a base 10 method of writing. And in words, we'll spell it out, 71. Now here is a practice test for you. You can again pause the video, answer this question and then look into my suggestions, right? So in the practice test, we have three parts. First, write each number in the place value chart. So this is the place value chart given to you. Second, write the base 10 name of each number, like how many tens and how many ones. And then underline the digit with higher place value in the number. Okay, so let's do it one by one. First you do it. Okay, 26 means 2 tens and 6 ones. Correct? That is 26. So we can call 226 as, right, as base 10. We get 2 tens and 6 ones. Is that clear? That is how you have to write all the numbers, right? Let's pick up the next one, which is 9. Well, in 9, there are no tens. There are only ones. So 1, 9. So 9 will be written as only 9 ones. How about 18? Well, 18 has 1 tens and 8 ones. So when we talk about 18, we say 1 tens and 8 ones. That is how we are going to write it. Is that clear? Perfect. We are almost at the end. The last question here. You need to find the value of the digit in a number. So we have underlined some numbers. Do you see that? Write the value of each underlined digit. Value of this 5, value of the 0, value of 9 here, and the value of 7. Correct? So you write down the value and then check with my solution. So value of 5 here is 50, which is same as 5 tens, correct? Value of 0 is 0 or 0 ones, right? It is just 0. Here it is 7 or 7 ones. You can write 7. And 291 is 9 tens or the number 90. So the value is 90 for the 9 in the second position, right? Which is tens position. Now you get it? 291 will be a number which could be written like this. So we have ones, tens, but the number 291. So 291. So you can clearly see that 9 comes under tens, and that is why we are writing 9 tens or 90 as the place value for 9 in 291. So I hope that makes sense. With that, we come to an end of our video on understanding the base 10 blocks. I hope the concept is absolutely clear. Feel free to write your comments, share your views, and try some questions from your book. I hope that makes sense. I'll also share with you some more examples. Thanks for watching and all the best.